Question B for Avogadro's law is a really straightforward question. You're not going to need to do any unit conversions whatsoever. So I'm going to do a lot less work for this one, and I'm going to leave it up to you to show me more of your work, your calculation, and your sig fig answer. Let's start with reading the problem. It says if 3.25 moles of argon gas occupies a volume of 100 point liters at a particular temperature and pressure, what volume does 14.5 moles of argon occupy under the same conditions? I want to quickly remind you that whenever a question says something like a particular temperature and pressure, and they've not given you an actual temperature or not given you an actual pressure, it just means that those conditions are present, but it's not going to affect you knowing what they are to solve the problem. So just to make things a little bit smoother for us, I'm canceling that. I'm just crossing it out in the question, and you can do the same. What you want to do right now is understand who is your V1 and who's your N1 and who's your V2 and who's your N2. So if it says if 3.25 moles of argon gas occupies a volume of 100 point liters, I know this for sure is my N and this is my V. The question that says what volume does 14.5 moles of argon occupy under the same conditions? So 3.25 moles and 100 point liters, those two go together. I'm looking now for basically the new volume. So I'm looking for V2 because now my moles have changed. So I know that 3.25 moles is N1, 100 point liters is V1. My new volume that I'm going to look for is my V2, and my 14.15 moles is my N2. All I need to do from here is take my formula, which is V1 over N1 equals V2 over N2, and I need to solve for V2. This is the same thing that we did in the last problem, so I'm just going to walk through that one more time. I want to multiply by N2 on both sides. N2 cancels out over here, and I'm just left with V2 equals N2 times V1 over N1. Notice your units of moles are both moles, right? Both your N's are moles. Your volume is just liters for V1, and your volume for V2, they didn't specifically tell you what unit you need to convert it in, so you're going to leave that unit in liters. I'm going to leave it up to you now to go ahead and set up your numerator and your denominator and show that for me on your page. And then I want you to also share a calculation answer. And finally, you're going to box or circle your sig fig answer, which is also going to include your unit. So just to double check, make sure that your final answer has the correct amount of sig figs. Remember, you're focusing with all your data. So you have two sets of mole and you have a set of volume. Notice the volume is 100 point liters. So pay attention to this to figure out or to remember how many sig figs that is. And everybody accounts for the sig figs in your final answer. All you need to do to submit this assignment is take a picture of this part of the page. It should show both A and B, and make sure all your work is shown for part B, your calculation, your final answer. Those need to be boxed or circled for both A and B. And then just submit this assignment on Schoology.